where am I? And that can mean kind of mentally, you feel like you're kind of skipping ahead into the future today. Are you kind of lingering in the past? And can we just kind of tell ourselves that like we're here, we're grounded, we're on the mat, we're in our body. And then the only time that we really have is right now, letting everything else kind of fade into the background. And you're just going to start with that simple mantra, thinking inhale here, exhale now. And then I want you to see if you can get like almost like 10% more comfortable in the body. And it's like, okay, no, now I'm here. Inhale. Exhale now, getting more and more present. And then one more. Inhale here. Exhale now. Walk yourself back up through center, knees together. Yep, and you're going to let your hip slide over to the right. Walking your left fingertips away, lengthen and extend. Okay, yeah, actually, since we're going in the same direction, I can actually mirror you. Good. Yep. And then let that elbow bend and let your left hand come kind of to the right side of your head, kind of into your right temple. And you might be able to feel that as you press your left elbow back, but squeeze your right ear down towards your right shoulder. You're able to open up that whole line all the way from outer left hip up through left elbow a little more clearly. Inhale here. Whatever's coming up, staying present with what right now. Extend left arm, really try to reach through the pinky finger. And then release, come to sit back up on your heels. And change sides, letting the hips drop over to the right. Left fingertips crawl away. Extend, and then once you really feel that kind of like doming through the right side rib, bend right elbow, cup the left side of your head, and my elbow, because all this tightness like in the outer shoulder and the tricep, it really wants to pull forward. Try to remind it to draw back. Excellent. And then against that work, we pull the bottom front ribs in a little. And take a few more breaths. Left ear drawing more and more towards the left shoulder, opening up this whole lateral chain. Inhale. Exhale. Wait for it there as you extend your right arm all the way, feeling kind of that outer right hip roll down. And then come back up to center, seated on your heels. Moving on, tuck your toes under so that you come into toe stand. Yep, interlace the hands behind the back of the head. And couple cat-cow, sweep the tailbone back. Inhale to open. Exhale, use the hands to drag the base of the skull away from the tops of your shoulders. Inhale, open. Exhale, and actually all summer I've really been trying like people to use their glutes, like their butt muscles a lot when you're trying to posteriorly tuck your pelvis, especially if you've been sitting a lot. That can help. Inhale, open. You'll feel you don't get any control through the glutes, and then we start right from there. Tuck it back under, squeeze glutes, and you might even start to feel the stretch through the tops of the quadriceps. Come back to center. Stay on the toes for just one more breath. Extend the arms up. Lengthening there. Take your left fingertips off to the side. Take one more side lean here. Obviously, we're going to need some length through the side body today. Inhale up through center. And just one more breath. Wave, take it over opposite direction here. Yeah, chin away from the chest. And then as you come back through center, plant your palms. Tabletop position. Inhale, cow. And then stretch the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Controlling as you put your knees down to the mat, letting them hover and then let them land gently. Inhale, cow. If you wanted to start to think here. Hips lift up and back now. Final one, I always kind of pretend like I'm holding the block in between the knees as I lower them. Inhale here, chest pulls forward. Here, and exhale, hips up and back now. Okay, little bit different. Step your big toes together at the back of your mat. Take your right leg up and back, three-legged down dog. And then your right foot is just going to step halfway forward to the middle of your mat. That's going to allow you to drop your right knee down so that you're in a toe stand on that right knee. Left knee down. Yep, rise to fingertips here. And then tuck your tailbone under, squeeze your glutes, and feel more like you're doing a cat pose here. To the degree that we're able, we're really trying to lift the front rim of the pelvis. See if that helps you feel a little bit more connected into that back leg. And then ripple up through the spine, extend your arms up, and just look your thumbs here, Claire. We're not going to really back bend. We're just going to keep squeezing, tucking the tailbone under. Try to lengthen more through the side body and a little bit into that left psoas muscle. Hands to the mat, all the way back, downward facing dog. Good. Pedal out the legs. Whenever we feel that we're kind of like not present, come back to your mantra, just being really here and present. Big toes come together to touch. Take your left leg up and back, three-legged down dog. Left foot steps halfway forward, drop that left knee into a knee drop, right knee down, and then you're going to do the little pause as you come up onto fingertips. And as you come into cat pose through the hips, you'll probably feel that right knee almost like kind of drag forward a little bit, giving you some resistance to open more through the front of the right hip. We're going to keep all of that as you lift up, kind of a balancing pose, hooking your thumbs. Yep, I'm going to try to pull my side waistline back. Grow tall through side body. Hands to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Okay, inhale forward into plank pose and then really squeeze your glutes in plank. You're going to keep your arms completely straight without bending your elbows. And just drop your rib cage and let your shoulder blades come together into a scapular push-up. See if you can still feel the glutes. Press back to the top of your push-up plank pose. Hips lift up and back, downward facing dog. Lift and extend, right leg up and back, three-legged down dog. This time, right foot will step all the way forward up in between your hands. Lunge. Yep, drop that back left knee down. And we're taking these little pauses to still get cat pose. Yep, and when you come into cat, Claire, you might actually feel that your right hamstring like engages a little bit more as the right glute engages and then lifts all the way up. Hook thumbs at the top here. And when I push my right foot forward and down, I can keep lifting that right hip point up and away from my right thigh, and then go ahead and sink all the way into it into an Anjaneyasana. Downward facing dog. Lift the heels as you shift forward into plank. Feel a strength through the fronts of your legs, right? Letting the sensation keep us present. Elbows are going to stay completely locked. And then just drop your rib cage as your shoulder blades come together. Top of the push-up, pull through the upper back. and downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg floats. Exhale, left foot steps forward, lunge. Okay. Back right knee down. Cat pose. Yep, and I kind of know I'm doing it right because I can feel my right glute engage, my left glute engage, turning on that left hamstring. Lift up to rise. Right? So it doesn't look deep, but it should kind of feel deep in the front of that right hip. Still pressing the sacrum onto the back of the hip. Then begin to sink into your Anjaneyasana, letting the back bend come more into the upper chest. Hands to the mat, press back, downward facing dog. As you shift forward into plank, let the elbow creases start to turn forward so that you feel your outer shoulders engaged. Activation through the glute. Scapular push-up. Top of your push-up plank pose, really pushing the floor away from your core strength. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lift, three-legged down dog. Right foot steps all the way forward up in between your hands, lunge. Back knee down just a little bit faster, but try to like go through that motion of getting a little bit of tap. Lift up, hook thumbs, inhale, Anjaneyasana. Sink in a little bit deeper and let your right fingertips come off to the side and take your left arm up and over into the side bend. I use my right fingertips to push my hips more to the left. Circle the hand down to the mat, downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale now, present in the body as it keeps kind of shifting and changing. Shift forward into plank pose. Elbow creases start to turn forward, turn up your outer shoulders. Do your scapular push-up first. Now keep all of that. Take a chaturanga, making sure the shoulder blades stay on your upper back. Press back up, top of your push-up, and downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg float. Exhale, step left foot forward, lunge. Back knee down, hook thumb, come all the way up. Through your cat pose, very good, right? So it kind of makes us a little more present. Sink in and then left fingertips off to the side as your right arm extends up and over. I try to really connect this from the right pinky toe through the outer right knee, outer right hip, rippling up through the ribs. Push, use the floor to move your hips more to the right. Hand circles down to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale forward into plank. Yep. Scapular push-up, pause. Chaturanga, pause. Feel the shoulder blades. Top of the push-up plank pose without using your glutes. And downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale now. So a lot of times it is sensation that kind of keeps me in my body, that keeps me on my mat. Right foot steps forward, lunge. Back knee down. Last time, take that little pause. Feel your lower abdominals engage. Hook thumbs, lift up, Anjane. But back off a little. I want my right hamstring working. Sink in. And now left elbow outside edge of right knee. Coming into the twist. So we're really going to try to take all of that space, that length that you created from your outer left hip, twisting through the ribs. And another cue kind of Alzheimer's, every time my torso turns in one direction, I really try to push my hips like in the opposite direction. Like I'm pushing my left hip against the wall to rotate. Step back, downward facing dog. Putting it all together. Inhale forward into plank. Perfect. Squeeze the glutes. Keep your focus there. Scapular push-up. Chaturanga. Knees down. Point toes. Still feel the squeezing of your glutes as you drop your hips, curling up. Cow pose. right? Or sorry, not cow, so cobra. So that really kind of comes still from the pelvis. Stretch back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lift. Left foot steps all the way forward lunge. So kind of when I do this work using all the big muscles of the back body, I actually warm up pretty quickly. Back out, scoop, pressing the pubic bone forward, lift up, inhale. Draw in as much as you can, but feel that balance, not just dumping through the hip. And then right elbow, outside edge of left knee, find your twist. And so, like you've heard me say a lot of times, like when we twist left, I kind of like turn my hips to the right, but it can also kind of be beneficial to do that thing where you press your ribs to the right. Downward facing dog. One more time. Inhale, forward plank. Because especially, right, like when our glutes aren't strong, they don't support the opening of our spine, right? Like the lengthening as we try to take a back bend. So I'm going to try to keep a lot of awareness there. Scapular push-up to a chaturanga. Put the knees down, point your toes. And then as you keep tucking your tailbone under, lower your hip and pull, beautiful, pulling the side ribs forward. Cobra, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, right foot steps forward. Yep, left foot steps forward, hip width distance. Hands to shins, inhale, open. And then as you fold in, grab your ankles and try to really internally rotate them. Sometimes I even use my forearms a little bit on my outer shins to press them in so I can continually widen my thigh bones apart. And see if that gives you any more space to wiggle your rib cage down. Inhale. Exhale, circle the arms around and up through bent knees. Inhale, lift all the way to stand. And then exhale, swan dive out over your legs, fold in, Uttanasana. Inhale to lengthen, open, half flat back. Step your left foot back into your lunge. Feel those points of contact with the floor. Pick up your right foot, top of your push-up plank. Strength through the front body, inhale. Right here, present, what can you notice? Move through all those stages, chaturanga. Now, inhale, up dog. Continually checking where my shoulder blades are on my upper back and send your hips back, downward facing dog. 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Coming more and more into the vehicle of the body. And left foot step forward, lunge. Right foot step forward, hip width distance. Inhale, get your length. And then exhale, fold in. Cross your forearms back behind you. Loop your hands through. Grab the fronts of your shin bones. Use that to more internally rotate your shins. Squeeze them in against that work. Imagine pressing your thigh bones out. And fold in here. A little bit more hamstring by pulling the feet apart. And then as you release, circle your arms around and up. Inhale. Rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale to fold in Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen, half flat back. Step your right foot back. Lunge. Strong through the arms. And pick up that left foot, top of your push-up plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Check at the bottom of my chaturanga. Am I using the glutes as you drive forward, up dog? Downward facing dog. 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale for 3. Look forward, jump your feet forward together at the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen. Fold in, grab your elbows behind your knees. Yep, let your forearms pull down the calf muscles. And then use the calf muscles at the back of your shins to press your shin bones slightly forward so that the knees don't lock. And then use that resistance to try to lift the hips up higher. Inhale. Exhale, release, bend knees, sit low, Utkatasana with the right amount of glute strength so that you feel your hamstrings engaged. Inhale. So fold out over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen, half lunge. Step your left foot deeply back, lunge. Float your right leg back, one-legged plank. Pushing the floor until you feel your core. Bring the awareness to the back of the hips, the glutes. Chaturanga, put the foot down as you inhale, up dog. Exhale, hips lift, downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward up in between your hands, pause, stop. Good, on fingertips. Go through cat pose until you feel your right hamstring engage. You feel the left glute, and then you kind of vacuum up through the belly, lifting to rise, high lunge. It's probably going to be pretty high up. Straighten your front right leg. Use that to bring your hips even more and more to neutral, feeling the stretch to the top of that left hip. And then do your hip hinge forward out over the front leg, keeping the chest open. Bend your right knee, hook the tailbone forward. Inhale, rise up, high lunge. Straighten front leg. And then one more time, hip hinge. Yep, and then hands to the mat. Bend into that front right knee. One-legged plank pose. Feeling all the way from the core, stretching back through the root of your right big toe. Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva. Bicep forward, triceps. Keep squeezing back. Push through the heels of your hands. Downward facing dog. 1. Here. Now I think center of my shoulders, center of my elbows, center of my wrist, center of my palms, into the center of all pads and my 10 fingertips. Really present on the mat. Look forward. Top step, float, legs together. Inhale, open. Just one more time. Grasp your elbows. Hug in tight and try to slide down. Kind of full embrace here. I do try to kind of rock the weight out of my heels. And stretch from the backs of the knees to the center of the hamstrings, all the way up through the sitting bones. Bend knees, drop hips, sit low, chair pose. Inhale with the right amount of glute. Exhale, fold in, Uttanasana. Inhale, follow the breath, half flat back. Right foot, step back, lunge. Pushing into the palms. That should help you feel core. Extend left leg back, one-legged plank. Inhale. Awareness through the back body. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva. Exhale, Adho. Left foot steps forward, lunge. On fingertips, first through cat. Big difference for me here this summer is that I really am trying to feel the hamstring support instead of just the quadricep as you lift all the way up, high lunge. Straighten your front leg. See if that allows you to get the hips any more in neutral. And then hip hinge. Rolling the inner thighs back and up. Pubic bone through. Bend the front knee. Scooping forward, inhale up. Straighten front leg. Exhale, fold. Good. Keep turning right hip forward. Hands to the mat. Bend the front left knee. One-legged plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, hip flip up and back. Downward facing dog. Holding there, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Set up for a lizard lunge. Right foot outside edge of right hand. Okay, but still I'm gonna push the floor. Yeah, connecting. So by using my hamstrings and my glutes, I really connect my core to my legs and then try to drop down onto your forearms. Yep, good. And then even here, I try to push my hips a little bit to the left. Good. And as you drag your elbows back, try to extend the chest forward. Inhale. Exhale, walk back up onto your hands. Keep your left hand planted. Right 2 fingers, grab your right big toe into a yogic toe lock. As you pivot, turn. Vasisthasana. Firm through the outer left hip. 1. Inhale. Left elbow crease continues to turn forward. 2. Inhale. Exhale for 3. Try to put your right foot down at the top of your mat. Low lunge. Left heel spins to flat. Keep it nice and wide as we prepare. Warrior 1. Lift to rise. Warrior 1. Good. Yep. Inhale. Exhale. A lot of times in my Warrior 1, Claire, I hook my thumb again to get that more feeling of like lifting up and out of my low back. 2. Inhale. Exhale for 3. Keep the leg. Left hand forward, right arm back. Right hand outside edge of left thigh. And then cut on the diagonal for a reverse Warrior 1. Kind of a side bend. It's kind of a back bend. We don't want it in the low back. That's where we're doing the work with the pelvis. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat. Top of your push-up, plank. Wait for it here. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale. Maybe thinking here, 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 here from my toes all the way to the crown of my head. Up and back. Downward facing dog. And the same thing we did with the arm. Kind of think center of your hip, center of your knees, center of your ankles, maybe center of the heel, center of the ball of the foot, all 10 toes gripping down and back and on the legs more. Prepare for lizard lunge. Left side, left foot step, outside edge of left hand. I'm going to wait until I find my awareness, my connection from the core to the back leg, and then lower down onto your elbows. You know, keep having the left elbow get heavier and heavier as you pull the side body long. Maybe push the hips a little bit to the right. Yeah, inhale. Exhale. So it's very, very hard for me to turn on that right glute, but that should help you pick up your right thigh a little bit. Come back up onto your hands, right hand plant. Grab your left big toes, yogic toe lock. Pivot, turn, pinky edge side of right foot. Vasisthasana for the hold. 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Good. Take your time as you bend that left knee. With control, set your left foot down, top of your sticky mat. Good. Right heel spins to flat. Pause. Start to lift up. Those even like the transitions were really present here and now. Lift to rise. Warrior 1. thumbs. If it helps, you may want to even just put the opposite thumb in front just to keep it balanced. And then I'm always thinking that my right heel is pressing out a little bit. The right shin bone is turning in, widening the thigh. Inhale. Exhale, right hand forward, left hand back. Reverse your warrior. Holding the outside edge of that right thigh. Yeah, you might even be able to kind of like use the hand on the thigh to press the tailbone more forward, stretch the psoas up and out on the diagonal. Hands to the mat, top of your push-up, plank pose. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Good. Long through the abdominals and downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward, lunge. Straighten your front right leg. Step your back left foot in until you square your hips. Fold out over your front leg. So even as I try to fold over this leg, my right side body shortens a little. And so I really have been able to feel that I fix that when I think hip to the left. Okay. I have a few more breaths here. Try to get as much hamstring length as you can out of that back right leg. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen half flat. Right arm on the inside of the right leg. Right arm's going to reach all the way back. Hold on to the outside edge of your left ankle. Left arm holds onto the outside edge of your right ankle. And then use that to come into a revolve. So it's a different type of a triangle. Kind of the same connection of the shoulder against the inner right knee that we have in a lizard pose. And feel length from left hip all the way through that left elbow. Inhale. Exhale, unwind, come back to center. Softly bend into that right knee, slide your right foot back. Do your cat pose high up on the ball of your right foot. And go ahead and take a few handstand hops. Breathe in a little bit since you got upside down. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Oh, nice. Right foot down. Bring that left knee behind your right ankle and come all the way down to seated. Okay. Once you've got your foundation, interlace the fingers around the outside edge of your right knee. Use pulling the right knee in towards you to try to find lumbar curve, sit up a little bit higher. And then it's with both legs, even that bottom left leg and my right femur bone, I'm trying to press them open and then find your Ardha Matsyendrasana. Twisting here, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Constantly asking, where am I? Am I in the body? Am I right here? Am I drifting? Okay. Find your deepest expression of the pose. We're going to keep the leg and then just let your hand swing over to the left. Take a counter twist. Unwind, plant your palms, shoot your left leg back, shoot your right leg back. Top of your push-up, plank pose, last 2. Inhale. Chaturanga. Pause. Make it a full pose. Good. Get that spinning open of the upper arm. Downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward, lunge. Left leg straightens as you step your back right foot in. And prepare. Pubic bone back, inner thighs spin back. Pyramid pose, fold out over your front leg. Especially when I haven't practiced much, I really try like not to compare. It's just like nourishing yourself here, like sending fresh oxygen, getting the circulation up back into the body. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, inhale, lengthen half flat back. And we're going to try for this revolved triangle pose. So left hand on the inside, grab the outside edge. Right hand comes up and over. And then I really use my outer left ribs, my outer left shoulder against the inner left leg to try to give that to turn open into. Pull, pull, pull on that back ankle. I love this stretch through the back quadratus lumborum. Inhale. Exhale, unwind. Plant your palms. Left foot will slide back a little. Find your cat pose with even a little bit of glute so that as you come up, you have a lot of connection before to the legs, handstand up. Yep. And then keeping the right leg lifted, spiral it down, outside edge of left ankle. Ardha Matsyendrasana. First, find the resistance. Hug in. So I never used to do this, but I actually like pulling the knee in towards me. I get a little bit of like an IT band stretch. And then once you feel that you're sitting tall, right elbow outside edge of left knee. Get right through the belly. Yeah, kind of suck that back in. I always think water balloon, give it a good squeeze. And then keep the legs counter twist, hands over to the right. Switch into that back hand. Top of the mat, shift, right leg shoots back. Last vinyasa, inhale, make these strong. Yep. Chaturanga. Up dog. Connected from the leg through the hips to the heart. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to put it all together. Right foot step, outside edge of right hand. Back left knee down. Push your right leg out at a 45-degree angle. Extend the arms forward like a puppy dog pose, trying to really let the ribs sink down. Yep, so actually, Claire, if you keep your hips higher, yeah, it probably will give you more of a stretch. Hips to the left should help to roll that outer right hip down, keeping the pelvis more in balance. 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale for 3. Hands walk back underneath your shoulders. Right foot steps in, right foot directly underneath your right knee. Back left shin bone comes parallel across the back of your mat. Good. Hook right shoulder underneath the right knee, plant the palm, and we're going to prepare for flying compass. Lift your right heel. Left hand goes over the top of the foot. And as you kick that right leg to straight, keep pressing into the bottom hand. Lift the hip by squeezing them towards the middle of your mat as you roll open. Inhale. Exhale, take your time, bend the knee, gently set it back down. Excellent. Downward facing dog. Lay down a down dog. As you hold, you feel any kind of like more freedom, more length coming through side body into the backs of your legs. And then left foot steps outside edge of left hand. Back knee down, shift the hips back, straighten the front left leg. Hold forward and down and in. That's how I always feel the more I can kind of like drop my rib cage on the inside of that leg. It makes it a little bit easier. Hands come back underneath your shoulders. Left foot steps in. Right shin comes across the back of your mat. Lift left heel. Oh, sorry. Take the shoulder underneath the knee first. I think it's a little bit easier. Yep. Then lift the heel. Right hand over the top. Flying compass. Really? I actually find it harder to like release out of it without pulling anything and downward facing dog. Right foot forward up in between your hands. Parallel your feet to the left. Either tripod headstand or Shirshasana A, headstand on the top of your head, interlacing your fingers, lifting the heel, and coming up from here. Okay, so here in Alavia, everybody wanted to learn headstands. So all summer long, every day, we're doing headstands. And that's where a lot of this like shoulder blades really integrated onto the upper back has come from. But it's not in the neck. 3, 2, and it's such a good way to get here and now present in the body. And then Claire, I just want you to check in with your glute. You feel that kind of tones the hamstrings. You might feel more aware in the back body now. And then as you split your leg, slowly coming down. Turn out over your front right leg, low lunge. Back left foot step forward, top of your mat. One more time, inhale, lengthen. Lots of space through side body today. And then fold in Uttanasana. And then you're just going to keep bending your knees until you come all the way down to seated. Extending your legs forward. Left hand grabs the outside edge of your right foot. Pick that up. Right arm extends back. As the right heel lowers to the floor. Right wrist crosses over left. Hold the pinky edge sides of your feet. Walk your sitting bones back more as you press your pubic bone through the inner thigh. Inhale. Exhale, change sides. Keep widening the thighs. Good. As your left heel drops down, and then this time we'll hold. Left wrist crosses over right. Broaden across the bottoms of your feet. Then as you bend your elbows out to the sides, fold in here. Inhale, lengthen, half flat back. Good. And as you exhale, release. Bending your knees, come to lie all the way down, bottoms of your feet together, knees wide and open apart. Keep the shoulder blades flat on your upper back. Okay. Kind of wiggle in. Make yourself 10% more comfortable. And then straighten your legs for Shavasana. And so I just feel like it's like really two good questions to kind of constantly ask ourselves, like, where am I? A lot of times I'll find that like my mind is not in the room or it's not present with what I'm doing. And it's like, what time is it? And I have a girlfriend here and she always says, it's now o'clock. It doesn't matter. It's just right now. Don't worry about it. Inhale, exhale. Good. As you start to wiggle your fingers and toes, stretch your arms up and over and bend your knees. Roll to your right and press up to find seated. Your hands folded in front of your heart center. And especially after all like traveling and all the busyness that you had this summer, as exciting as it is, sometimes it's just like I'm here in my home, I'm on my mat, and I'm really in my body. Taking your thumbs to your third eye, bowing forward to seal your practice. Jai, Siddhartha.